Hey lads, welcome to a healing guide to some of the harder bosses in the dungeon pool this season from a Restoration Shaman point of view. Today we will be healing Hyrja, which is the second boss in Halls of Valor on a +20 Tyrannical key. And right now you can see the talents that I'll be using on the screen. Keep in mind that I'm not using Cloudburst for this particular fight, I'm using Healing Stream Totem, but feel free to pick up Cloudburst as well. It is going to help you significantly if you use it correctly. In this particular case, I decided to roll without it, and the other notable talent I guess to point out here is that I took Downpour on top of the regular Shaman talents that you should be having most of the time in your keys. Alright, on to the fight. Make sure your mana up and drink before the fight starts because it's quite intensive, and the first thing that you should be doing probably as a shaman is Bloodlust because usually you save the lust for this specific boss. So the first thing that I'm doing, I'm spreading 2 Riptides, and then as you can see over here, I'm pre-casting my Healing Rain next to the boss because I know that Eye of the Storm is coming up. Now the idea here is not that the Healing Rain is going to heal your party to full, but you are using the Deluge talent, which is going to make your Chain Heal and Healing Surge hit for 20% more on everybody inside of the Healing Rain. This is actually huge because those are the spells that you will be using primarily to try and keep everybody up during the Eye of the Storm. Next up, I already make a mistake, so I'm using my Lava Burst here to get the Master of the Elements buff, which is fine, but at the same time I already have a High Tide proc, so if I just start casting Chain Heals, I will have absolutely no problem topping up my group and keeping everyone alive, even without additional cooldowns. However, I decided to pop Healing Tide just because we have Lust, so I'll be casting faster. Then I opted to cast Healing Surge instead of Chain Heal, and then I panicked, I thought I'm behind, so I popped my Ascendance in order to keep everybody up, which is fine, I managed to do so, but I wasted 2 big cooldowns instead of just 1, or maybe even 0, because when you have Lust, you should be able to keep everybody up just by using Chain Heal. You are then going to move to the other side, and there's a couple of things to watch for here. First, your tank is going to get smacked, but in this case my DK popped his Magic Absorb shield, so he didn't take that much damage from the frontal. Of course, make sure you're not in front of the boss, or if you get hit, you just simply die. The other thing to watch for is the Expel Light debuff, which right now is on my Warlock at the bottom of your screen. This is the yellow circle around the player, which after 3 seconds explodes, hits the player for a significant amount of damage, and then jumps to the next player, and that is repeated 3 consecutive times. So obviously spread because you don't want to hit 2 people with the white circle, and be prepared to toss heals to the people who get the debuff and then get hit by the Expel Light. So your main goal here is to heal people that get hit by the yellow circle, and then spread your Riptides because shortly after you're going to move back to the other side to heal another Eye of the Storm, and you want to hit people that have a Riptide with your Chain Heals because that heals for more based on your talents. Obviously dodge the yellow orbs. There's a trick that if you go behind an orb that just was expelled from the boss, you can basically dodge all the other ones without moving, but even if you have to step aside, that's not too big of a deal. Now that's specific to this fight, but as you can see here, the tank got hit by one of the orbs, so that proc his chi dead, which just needs to make you more alert because now they're more vulnerable. Next up, again, she casts the Shield of Light, which is the frontal, and this time the tank gets hit significantly because they don't have their Magic Absorb shield up, so be prepared to top them up and to heal them up. And all of that, of course, while moving to the other side. In this case, we got a little bit unlucky because she's not in the yellow side anymore, but she still casted the Expel Light, which you can see on the Warlock right now. This is the yellow circle that is going to jump 3 more times to other people. She is supposed to cast the Expel Light while only on the other side, but in this case I guess it was spell queued and we didn't move her fast enough to this side, so now that's something extra that you have to deal with while healing the Eye of the Storm. So now I'm prepared to spot heal the people, of course stay out of the yellow circle, and shortly after she's going to cast the Eye of the Storm, so over here I'm pre-casting my Healing Rain and hoping that the mage is not going to hit me with the yellow circle. I am then checking what cooldowns I have available. I have Spirit Link and Ancestral Guidance. I opted for Ancestral Guidance here, and one thing to mention is that you probably want to pop your Ancestral Guidance for the first bubble, for the first dome, with the idea that it will be back up for the later domes, especially if you have to go over 4 Eye of the Storms instead of 3, which in this case we only needed 3 to defeat this boss. So over here we are inside of the dome, we are inside of the healing range, so I am casting my chain heals. I also have Ancestral Guidance, as I said, and High Tide rolling, so it should be no problem to keep everybody up. You do want to prioritize people with Riptide, so your chain heals go for more. In this case, I'm casting it on my mage, which is a small mistake, but with all the cooldowns rolling, it should be totally fine. And the other thing to mention here for this specific fight, Downpour is actually amazing. I'm casting that right now because it is going to hit all 5 people and help you top everybody up. And the last tip here is use your Ancestral Shift when it's up, because after the Eye of the Storm is over, she's going to cast her ability available on this side, which is Arc Lightning, and this will just hit everybody if you are grouped together. So do not count down once the Eye of the Storm is over, because the Arc Lightning can actually finish people off. So we are back on the other side. Here we deal with the Expel Light, as you can see. Make sure you clear your Thundering early, as it might be a little bit tricky to do that while dodging the orbs. And as you can see, my Warlock gets hit here. Luckily, we have a Battle Res, but of course, you have to be very careful because the orbs do one-shot at higher keys. So here, tanks get hit again by the frontal, be prepared to heal, run to the other side, and we get the Expel Light again. Now, it gets a little bit hectic here, because I precasted my Healing Rain, it was a little bit early, and then I got the Expel Light at the last possible moment, so I had to stay out not to blow everybody up, and I couldn't precast my Healing Rain before going to the dump, so we are in a lot of trouble here, but the Downpour comes to the rescue as it's going to heal everybody up. Another mistake on my end here is that I still have the Spirit Link. I have this cooldown. I only popped my Ancestral Shift, which means I'm taking less damage and I need to worry only about my teammates. Spirit Link would actually help a lot here, but as you're going to see right now, all of my teammates pop their cooldowns, their defensives, so the Mage Ice blocks, the Paladin Bubbles, and since I have my Ancestral Shift, it's relatively easy to go through this phase. And hopefully you saw that, but the Arc Lightning almost finished everybody off at the end. Now, the boss is almost dead at this point, but even if you have to go through another phase, another Eye of the Storm, you will have cooldowns coming back up for that phase, so you should be totally fine. So, to summarize, make sure to precast your Healing Rain before the Eye of the Storm starts. The other thing that I didn't mention is also cast your either Cloud Burst or Healing Stream Totem, which is going to give you extra crit and of course extra heals. Precast your chain heals even before the Eye of the Storm hits, and then use a cooldown to help you with the healing. The recommended order of the cooldowns would be Ancestral Guidance first, then you have Ascendance for the next one, Healing Tide Totem, and Spirit Link for the third, and by the time you get a fourth, if you get a fourth, you will have Ancestral Guidance back up. As you saw in this particular kill, we didn't actually play good, it wasn't even close, but we still managed to kill the boss and heal through it. So hopefully this is going to help you heal Hyrja better in Halls of Valor and time your keys. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more videos like this on my channel, and happy healing. See you in the next one.